Shalom Eastern Shore. I am Rabbi David Tokajer with Congregation Maim Chaim, the Eastern Shore's Messianic Synagogue, and I am bringing you your daily dose of living water. As a Messianic Jewish synagogue, you may have caught on to the fact that the Shabbat is a very big part of who we are and what we do. Biblically speaking, the Shabbat, or Sabbath in English, is every week from sundown on Friday to sundown on Saturday. There are also other Shabbatot or Sabbaths in connection with the holy days, but right now we are specifically focusing on the weekly Shabbat. There are a lot of beautiful traditional observances and practices associated with how we keep the Shabbat today, including but not limited to Erev Shabbat dinners with candle lighting, Kiddush, and Challah, morning services in synagogue complete with the Torah service, with the reading of the Torah Parsha for the week, and Havdalah to close out the Shabbat. The Shabbat is mentioned numerous times throughout the Torah, including in the fourth commandment in Exodus 20, and is something that the Lord makes very clear is very important to him. In particular, I want to focus on the command about the Shabbat found in Leviticus 23, the very first holy day mentioned in the Moedim. Leviticus 23:3 says, "Work may be done for 6 days, but the seventh day is a Shabbat of solemn rest, a holy convocation. You are to do no work. It is a Shabbat to Adonai in all your dwellings." Biblically and traditionally, there are a lot of specific practices in Judaism with regard to keeping the Shabbat. But there is also a powerful spiritual and prophetic reality to our observing the Shabbat today as well. There are two specific commands in regards to the Shabbat that we see in the Torah that we can actually keep today. There are a lot of other commandments in Torah, such as sacrifices and such for the Shabbat, that are unavailable to us today. And then there are a lot of traditional observances that I'm not at all against, but I'm not dealing with those at this moment. These two commands, as seen in Leviticus 23:3, are to rest from our work on the Shabbat and to have a holy convocation, or a gathering for worship on the Shabbat. We are commanded by the Lord to set the Shabbat aside as holy, and to do so, we are to rest in his presence, and we are to gather together in unity and worship in his presence. The Shabbat is to be a day solely focused on experiencing the presence of God. Along with this, there are really two primary things that we know definitively about the Olam Haba, or the world to come, or heaven. We know that in the Olam Haba, we will be resting eternally in the literal presence of the Lord, and we will be gathering together with the angels and the saints in an eternal holy convocation and worship in the literal presence of the Lord. Think about it. When we enter into the Olam Haba, we will be entering into an eternal Shabbat in the presence of God. How amazing of a thought is that? So from creation itself, when the Shabbat was established, the Lord has built into the human experience an opportunity to have a sampling, a taste of heaven on earth every single week of our life. We have an opportunity every Friday night and Saturday to keep the Shabbat for the prophetic purpose of experiencing a literal taste of heaven here on earth, 52 weeks a year, every year of our life. Yeshua even tells us man was not made for Shabbat, but Shabbat was made for man. Think about how powerful it would be if the body of Messiah as a whole caught on to the prophetic reality of the Shabbat. Shalom.